Hi everyone, Jerrel here. I do a lot of my composing late at night, so I was just taking a look at this song. So this is a song from the show Agatha All Along, which is a sequel to WandaVision. I really liked WandaVision, but I saw people on YouTube or whatever saying that this song is cringe, and that's a word that already activates my gag reflex. People generally use the word cringe when they are still in school and haven't learned more English, so they don't know big good word. So that's what people have said. But generally, when someone describes things, it means that they're describing something that was done incompetently, that wasn't done very well. That's just not good. It's of low quality. And so I want to take a look at the song. Um, what's it called? Um, Ballad of the Witch's Road. I guess that's what we're taking a look at. It's from, I'm going to call it the Agatha All Along song. So I'm going to analyze the chords, I mean, roughly the lyrics. I'll take a look at the lyrics, and then we'll see exactly how cringe this is. In this video, I want to figure out if the song was written by amateurs. Generally, when someone describes things as, low quality, it's generally done by amateurs, people who do not actually understand their craft, and they're trying to come across as, bigger and more experienced than they actually are. So we'll take a look at the composition, the chord structure, a little bit of the lyrics and whatnot, and I'll see if I can determine the level of mastery for this. So we're going to see just how cringe is the Agatha All Along song. So take a look at that. But just as a preface here, by this point in the MCU, I stopped watching things because after Secret Invasion, and the Eternals, I felt very betrayed by Marvel because I was watching all of their stuff and supporting them at that point. But Secret Invasion and the Eternals and Echo were so awful. I just checked out, and I sort of lost interest, even though I really love the MCU. But the quality of those things felt like a huge betrayal to me, and so I'm not sure if this is supposed to be good or not. So we'll see. We'll see if I can determine. Maybe this song is an indication of how good the show is, how cringe, if it's made by amateurs or made by people who know what they're doing. So let's go ahead and start and take a look at, what's it called? Ballad of the Witch's Road. Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. We're starting on G, which is so typical. That's very, Oh! Okay, hold on. We're going to go straight into it. Okay, we go from G to A flat minor, which is very interesting. And then G to A flat minor, and then to... Oh, that's interesting. Okay, hello. C to F minor. Oh, nice. I like that. To B flat. E minor to A minor. Let's see where this goes. C minor to... It stays on C minor. And it switches at the very last second. Let's try and sing along to this now. Okay, so I'm already finding this very interesting because it's using a lot of atypical chords. These are not chords that are seen commonly. Pop music and rock music tend to recycle the exact same chords, and they often go in the same order. So this is already hugely... very interesting that they've chosen chords that are so atypical and progressions that are atypical. So let's see. I have learned the lesson of all that's foul and fair. Our love was forged in fire, water, earth, and air. The spell is cast, how long it lasts, I cannot divine. The road is there, and so I dare to risk this heart of mine. Okay, I find that very interesting. That's so fascinating. What this whole, the G to A flat minor already immediately introduces tension in a way that is very atypical for a piece of music that has lyrics that's sung like this. I assume this is supposed to be like a rock and roll song. It's extremely atypical and interesting, and I'm trying to figure out, the first thing they do is introduce tension. And then it goes from the A flat minor to the C. Oh, it's just all of a sudden this bizarre rush of resolution back to some tension. Oh, this is so fascinating, so interesting. Now, what really intrigues me here is that C minor. At the very end of the phrase, we have a C minor, and it's typical for a composer to just go to the next chord and then resolve it. And the fact that they don't resolve it, it lingers on the C minor for almost the entire end of the phrase there. And to me, it sort of indicates like music is very much storytelling. You'll find amateur composers and like just people that are not strong composers, but they're physically capable of putting chords and lyrics together, but that does not actually take a lot of skill or experience. You only need familiarity in composition in order to do that. So you can be incompetent and still compose and write a song. But this is so interesting. A master level composer is able to tell a story through the composition itself. And what I'm seeing here is that it lingers on the C minor for so long. To me, that indicates an unwillingness to move forward, an unwillingness to resolve, an unwillingness to change, because that is what the chord structure is doing, is the chord structure is unwilling to change until the very last second when it resolves in an interesting way. I'm not sure if this is tied directly into the story of the Agatha show or whatever, but if I were a composer, those are the things that I would consider, is how do you tell the story through the composition itself. Let's go to the chorus. Okay, I would think we would go back to the G, but we're going to G minor, so we're ending the verse 1 on the D, and then we're going to down the witch's road. Whoa, hello. Down, down, down the road. Am I getting this right? Down the witch's road. Oh my God, wow. Oh my God, I really like that. Okay, if you just give me a second here. I really got a vibe with this, because this is rock and roll, baby. Give me a second. Let me try this. The road is there, so I dare to risk this heart of mine. Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. Follow me, my friend, to glory at the end. Whoa, what a fascinating resolution. That goes from C minor to D minor to G. It sounds like completing a level in a video game, right? Like you beat the dungeon and you get... Oh, but then there's like a tag here at the end. What is this? What is that? Hold on. Whoa, that's interesting. So it's C minor, F minor to G. This is so interesting, because it's not really resolving. That G should lead into like a C minor, sort of head back down into that. That's what you, like, naturally you expect it to go. So again, there's this unwillingness to resolve. It's so interesting. That's what the composition, the chord structure is saying here, is there's an unwillingness to resolve. Like the lyrics, I'm not super, it's not like, oh wow, this is poetry. I'm sure it's telling the story, but I'm so interested in like anyone can write lyrics like that, right? But it's this composition that's super interesting, that the chord structure they've chosen here. And I'm seeing here, okay, so we're not repeating the chord structure from the first verse. The second verse has a different. So before we were going G to A flat minor, but this time we're going to G to C minor. So there's less tension. That's so interesting. There's more tension in the first verse. There's actually less tension in the second verse here. Okay, this is interesting. I have known the power, midnight in the wood, I've danced inside the circle, C minor, with all that's bad and good, the danger's great, trials wait, for those that seek the prize, E flat to A flat, tame your fears, a door appears. Again, we're lingering on the C minor, we're delaying the resolution here. To love that never dies. Oh yeah. And when it hits, it's really satisfying, right? Because it's delayed. We're holding it back. That's so fascinating. Now this, okay, I'm starting to understand something about this piece of music here. This was not written by an amateur. An amateur cannot write a piece of music like this, because unless someone has a master level of understanding of composing music, especially like a rock song like this, you have to have a very strong understanding of where we came from, like historically, culturally, where music has come from, what it's done before, what people expect, what the ear expects. Like, we are trained to hear music a certain way. We are trained to expect music to sound a certain way. And only by having a very strong understanding of all of that, and then having spent in literally thousands of hours just experimenting and trying different things and seeing what works, you gain a complete, well, not a complete, but a comprehensive understanding and a grasp of what you can do, where you can push music to where it doesn't do what you expect it to do, but it does something that's still interesting and tells the story the way that it's supposed to. So I'll explain how an amateur would have written this verse 2 here. An amateur is pulled along by musical theory. An amateur has no choice but to let the music write itself, because they don't have enough experience and understanding. So they have to let, oh, well, this chord is supposed to come after this chord. So here's how an amateur would have written verse 2. It would have gone G to E minor, G minor, G, E minor, D. I'm gonna guess. So let's see. I have known the power of midnight in the wood. I've danced inside the circle. All that's bad and good. The danger's great. The trials wait for those that seek the prize. Tame your fears, a door appears to love that never dies. So that's how an amateur would have written that, right? Letting the music just grab them by the nose and drag them along, because amateurs don't have enough understanding and comprehension. And the fact that this goes so against what the music wants to do on its own, and the composer is, I think, this and the chorus, the composer showing off how much they understand and what they can communicate. So let me give this verse 2 a go again. You have to let me vibe with this for a second. I have known the power of midnight in the wood. I've danced inside the circle of all that's bad and good. The danger's great, the trials wait for those that seek the prize. Tame your fears, a door appears to love that never dies. As we go down, down, down the road, down the witch's road, down, down, down the road, down the witch's road, down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. Okay, well, that's an E flat. There's a bridge here, so together and alone, and it resolves strangely positively. There isn't any other part of this composition where it resolves so positively. So this is fascinating to me. So together and alone. So now we have a bridge coming up. If I can't reach you, let my song teach you. Is that right? All you need to keep our love alive. Oh, that hits me right here in the feelings kidney. Okay. If I can't hold you, remember what I told you. It's the only way we survive. Is that right? We survive. Oh man, I'm really okay. Give me a second to vibe with this. If I can't reach you, let my song teach you. All you need to keep our love alive. If I can't hold you, remember what I told you. It's the only way we survive. We survive. Oh, so what's so great about this bridge? In the other parts of the song, we're constantly building up tension. It's just getting tense, more and more tense. And this bridge it's just resolution. It's a sense of ending conflict here because it doesn't really build up any more tension. So to me, this bridge is so satisfying. So I feel like it's taking any unresolved tension that's been building up through the whole journey. Like a piece of music is a journey. It really is. It's an adventure. And this bridge just resolves all of it. Oh, it's so satisfying. So after the bridge, we have an instrumental here. Looks like a key change. Okay, so goes to an E minor, okay. Okay, it goes to A. Hello. The road is wild and wicked, winding out of time. Still we face our fortune, chasing a sublime. What's lost is found, what's fierce is bound. G minor to C. Broken and we're burned. That's F to B flat. So it's so interesting. This already starts out differently. There's way more resolution in verse 3. So in verse 2 we had G to C minor. So it goes. But now we have A to B flat. And it's interesting because if we were to follow the logic of the previous verse, if an amateur were to write this, they would just copy whatever they did previously, copy and paste, and then transpose it. But they're not doing that here. An amateur would have gone A to D minor. That's what an amateur would have done, but instead they've gone. Oh, and it. Listen to this. What does that sound like to you? Because to me, that sounds like running out of time. And I believe that is why they've specifically picked that. Like saying you're a video game and you're running out of time for a level. That's so interesting. The road is wild and wicked, winding out of time. We're getting towards the end of the song here, and we're in verse 3, and it does sound like it's running out of time. So being able to evoke that memory, evoke that feeling through so simple a chord progression. Wow. I don't know who composed this, but I'm going to look it up. But it's so fascinating. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Is this within my vocal range? The road is wild and wicked, winding out of time. Still we face our fortune, chasing the sublime. What's lost is found, what's fierce is bound. We're broken and we're burned. Take a breath and dance with death. My love cannot be turned as we go. Now the chorus is higher up. I'm not sure if this is within my vocal range. Let me give it a try. Whew. My love cannot be turned. Oh, whoa! Okay. So, you know how previously, in the previous verses, I was saying that it was lingering on the C minor, right? And it was waiting until the very, very, very last second to resolve and to go to the next chord even, refusing to change. But in verse 3, it doesn't do that. In verse 3, it goes to the chord, and when you expect it to change, it does change. This is a form of storytelling. This is master level composing here. This is not something that like a cringe amateur composer would have done. Oh my God, this is really take a breath, dance with death. My love cannot be turned as we go down, down, down the road, down the witch's road, down, down, down the road, down the witch's road, down, down, down the road, down the witch's road, wherever it may bend. See how it revolves. See you at the end, wherever it may bend. See you at the end. Oh, what satisfying resolution on that A. So it goes from D minor, E minor. Oh! And there's an outro here. I don't know how they want me to do this. See you at the end. Oh, instead of repeating the D minor, E minor to A, instead of repeating that, it's now going D minor to G minor. So it goes. Oh, this is so interesting. It leaves you hanging there. Again, because you subconsciously, you expect it to land back at that D minor. You expect it to go. Naturally, that's what you want. Your brain wants to hear that. We're trained to hear that and expect that in music. But the fact that it leaves you hanging on A is so... Oh, man. That's so interesting. I really like that. To me, it is expressing through a story. It's telling me that, okay, one, it doesn't want to change until the very last second. It's trying to not change. It's holding on. It's resisting resolution. But then at the very end, there is this sort of, there's this positive. It's quite positive. So there is an ending to it, but it's so. Oh man, wow. So it feels, but that's kind of, it's a little, it's like bittersweet. It's like sad, but also there's some positive aspect to it. There's a bittersweetness to the ending of it, but it's also really unexpected. Like, that's not what you would expect. So I'm not sure how connected this is to the story. If this is, in line. If this is one-to-one with the journey that the characters go on in the Agatha show. But this is a master level of composition. And I listen to a lot of music. My favorite stuff comes from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I listen to a lot of rock and roll, prog rock and whatnot. And the compositions that I see like within the past 20 to what year are we in? Yeah, it's more like 15. Compositions in the past 15 years have been extremely weak. It's been people that have a surface level understanding of music getting dragged by the nose, and the music is just dragging them along, and they're letting the music drag them along. This is the first song I've seen in a very long time. I can't think of any song in the modern, like within the past 15 years, that I've seen personally myself that has such a strong control over itself and the storytelling and the themes. I don't know who wrote this. I'm going to look it up. I just have a feeling this is someone that grew up listening to a lot of rock and roll from the 70s. That last chorus, I'm really pushing it with my vocal range. I kind of feel like I'm lucky I've grown my hair out this long, or I don't think I would have been able to hit the notes on the chorus after the key change. There's key change. Oh, just let me vibe this. I'm so impressed. I just want to play the second verse and the chorus again. I really enjoyed. This is so good. I have known the power of midnight in the wood. I've danced inside a circle of all that's bad and good. It's dangerous, great, the trials wait for those that seek the prize. Tame your fears, a door appears to love that never dies. As we go down, down, down the road, down the witch's road, down, down, down the road, down the witch's road, down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. Blood and tears and bone, together and alone. If I can't reach you, let my song teach you all you need to keep our love alive. If I can't hold you, remember what I told you. It's the only way we survive. We survive. Oh man, wow. S rank. I was not expecting this to be a masterclass in storytelling through composition. This is so interesting to listen to, so fascinating. I mean, the words are whatever, they're fine. I don't understand when people look at such a rock. This song is rock and roll, man. So I personally don't understand what people mean when they say this is cringe, because this is a masterclass in writing. Maybe it has to do with the show, the context of the show, the way that they perform it in the show. I don't know, but this composition, rock and roll, baby. Oh my God, this is so good. Cool. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this analysis. This is my first time doing one of these sorts of analyses. So let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you watched the Agatha show, and if this song, if my explanation sort of tracks with what goes on in the story. I'm going to guess that the character has an unwillingness to change, and they start out very tense. Things seem to get a little bit better as we go through the story. There seems like there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel, but then all of a sudden, there's an unexpected change. And the resolution is more sad than it seems, but there's a lack of finality to it as well. And it's bittersweet. It's like a bittersweet lack of finality. Is that it? That's kind of what I'm not even going based on the words. I'm going based on the composition, just the chord progressions here. Anyway, I hope that was interesting. Okay. Oh, man. That was rock and roll. I really enjoyed that. Cool. All right. Take care. I'll see you around. Bye.